Hello everyone, how you going, and welcome back to Awfultastebutgreatexecution, the place that, as it says, work done so well you don't know whether to love it or hate it. I mean, you definitely hate it. There is no two ways about that, but at the same time, you just have to appreciate the time and effort, or I don't even know if you can call it thought, that has gone into some of these posts. But anyway, let's jump straight into it, shall we? So starting right off with, when you got to drop the kids off at soccer at 6, we'll be part of the Voltron at 7. What the hell is that? What are we looking at? That doesn't even look real. I mean, to be honest, at the same time, if you look at the rest of the lineup in their entire lot, it is definitely like at a car show or something like that. So in a way, I feel as though it is definitely excused, but wow, it is incredible that they managed to move that around, because just look at how low that thing is. There is no way that this person takes this car anywhere besides, I don't know, just straight on, I don't know, just racetracks and car parks and things that are just perfectly flat and level surfaces, because they probably had to sweep the road and just get rid of all the debris and pebbles and anything like that just so it didn't scrape. But no, like I was saying, I just don't understand how you'd even get that there in the first place. I mean, maybe, I guess looking at it, you're able to put some of the body panels on after the fact. Like, there is no way that front and that rear one that extends the car by, what is it, 3 meters in total, where it's already quite a long vehicle. But there was just no way that someone could actually design something like this and not take into consideration that those pieces probably have to be removed at some point. But hey, what can I say? This post is definitely the embodiment of this sub. You know, it is definitely awful taste, and it is definitely well done, if that's what you call well done, because the amount of time and energy and even just money that would have gone into making all those different angles all over the car and making it fit to the body panels of the car as well, oh, it would have just been ridiculous. And if it wasn't at a car show like this, I would just go, why the hell would anyone even make this? But look, if that's what someone wants to do with their car for whatever reason, that's the most baffling part about the entire thing. Why would anyone actually want to be able to do this? Because regardless of how much money and time and energy you spend, you still aren't changing the original shape, and so it's still never going to be really a sports car with all these aerodynamics. But no, the excessive body panels weren't enough for this person. They just wanted to go the whole hog, just change their color compared to everyone else, and really just make it, well, a thing of something, especially given the fact that there's obviously an entire community of people like this. And so really, obviously they're not hurting anyone, and also they're just providing eye candy for those people and just to kind of a little bit confusement for us. And so hey, I don't know about this one, which I guess can only be expected when you have such a perfect post like this. You know, like I said, it is definitely awful taste, well, from our perspective, and then also just well done at the same time. This little decoration that's made for an aquarium. Oh wow, look at that Imagitorium gnome door. Wait, okay, that's definitely not what this is. Someone has actually just placed that there. I was going, hang on a second, that's not a gnome. But actually, I'm not even sure if this even classifies purely as awful taste. I mean, it's definitely a bit weird, and I don't really understand why you would want to be kind of putting rubbish in your aquarium. I mean, I guess the inspiration and the idea obviously would have come from real life in terms of just having cups and or a whole mountain of rubbish just being chucked into the ocean. But really, do you want that in your aquarium? I mean, maybe some people do, or I guess obviously there's a market for it, but I don't know about you. But no, looking at it, I'm just not sure if it is really truly awful taste, because I mean, I guess it's a coffee cup, but at the same time, I guess it's kind of just a cool statement. I mean, I would like to know how big the cup is, because it kind of looks to me as though it's a full size, and so I feel as though maybe that's a little bit awful taste. You know, it's meant to be an aquarium, it's not meant to be an entire cup and taking up the entire aquarium, especially given the fact that a lot of people don't have a massive tank, and so you don't want just a cup to be taking up half your tank. I mean, I guess in saying that, if you do find it cool, it is kind of just a little cave for the fish to be in, but at the same time, I don't know if that's the one you want. So I guess in saying that, I feel as though the awful taste component comes into the fact when you actually put it in the aquarium and how big it is and just where you place it and why you bought it, because really, I feel as though actually making something out of this definitely is an awful taste, because it's kind of just a cool statement if nothing else. And hey, it certainly fits on this sub, considering the fact that it is clearly well done. I mean, I'm not 100% sold on the coffee all over the floor, but really the cup component is pretty cool. So like I was saying, I feel as though if it was just a little bit smaller and more kind of just to scale in terms of what fish you've got, I mean, unless you've got some mega fish, this is certainly not going to be the right size scale. And so even though I guess it could work if you kind of themed your entire aquarium around it, and that'd be kind of a cool aquarium because it's different. And so I feel as though for most people, it would be better if it was just miniaturized a little bit, so then it could actually just be decorative instead of just controlling the entire kind of environment. This. Oh, whoa, that is actually quite impressive. I don't even know how you ride that thing, because the amount of weight you now have up the top, you've completely changed your entire center of gravity. That is incredible. And the fact you now have tiny wheels, I don't really know how well that's going to work, but man, is that an incredible kind of conversion. I mean, I guess they do have to be tiny to be able to keep the entire look of the original bike, but really, it just doesn't seem as though you could be able to turn or just get any kind of top speed out of those things without them just exploding. I mean, I have absolutely no idea where the seat's gone and how you even fuel the thing. And I guess you could just kind of let it fall over gently and then just kind of pick it back up in a normal or kind of upright or downright position, upside down, because of this. And then from there, you would still have clear access to the petrol tank. You just have to flip it back over every single time you want to ride. Or, oh, hey, maybe this is actually just some crazy stuff bike where you can actually just kind of go to the ceiling and then go to the floor, and it just allows you to do some crazy maneuvers. I mean, you certainly wouldn't want to be kind of sitting against the rear wheel, because that's going to get pretty hot pretty quickly. But look, I guess that's the price you have to pay to be able to ride something this crazy. My goodness, just look at that, all the lines everywhere as well. But like I always say, I'm just completely blown away about how creative some people can be. I mean, it certainly doesn't seem as though this is going to be the best idea, so I don't know if I could really recommend this kind of creativity, but at the same time, it is creative nonetheless, speaking of, considering I can only imagine that this is a passion project, I just don't understand how you learn to ride something like this and not just drop it 24/7, considering the fact that I can only imagine it's going to just steer completely different or balance completely differently. So really, how the hell do you do something like that? I mean, now I just want to see what it actually looks like upside down. Oh, I can't really do that, because seeing it this way up, I'm actually pretty impressed about how well they managed to keep the original shape of the motorcycle, but at the same time, I feel as though once you actually flip it around, maybe it doesn't look the same. I mean, obviously you just have a guy hanging off the bottom of it, so it doesn't really make sense, but at the same time, I just want to know how kind of well they've done the lines and everything like that. And really, like I said, even though that front tire is way too small, is it still too big to actually kind of complete the whole look? Because obviously there is a little bit of leniency in the entire thing, but at the same time, I feel as though if the look just isn't kind of cemented in terms of being as good as it can ever be, then I just don't know if I can truly call it great execution. And so what else can I say? I really am just completely curious and just have so many questions surrounding the entire build. Just where did the inspiration come from? Why did you do it? How much did it cost? And really, does it even run very well anymore? And I guess the be all end all question is just, would this person do it to another bike, or was it not entirely worth it? Because I feel as though if we did have the answer to that question, then we would definitely just know where it fits in the entire scale. That's stool. No. This one isn't all for taste. This is incredible. Look at that. The amount of work that would have gone into that. I mean, like I always say, I just want to know where the inspiration came from, but really, that is incredible. Just the way his suit jacket is long enough to cover his bum, so it completely completes the look. Just look at that. That is incredible. I mean, that is one hell of a carving that someone would have had to done. I don't know if it's one piece, but if it is, wow, that's a big kind of piece of wood originally. But no, I refuse to say that this one is all for taste, because I can just picture this happening in some kind of groovy bar somewhere. You know, you can get all the different animals, and kind of like when people reserve their wine glass with all these different little tokens on the stem. Really, this is just the same, you know. It's like, oh, I'm the horse, I'm the pig, I'm the rooster, I don't even know, because you have so many animals to choose from, and really in current times you can't have any people in there anyway. And so as the owner, if you do want to keep it exclusive, you could just have people book into the horse or whatever kind of animal they want. Or hey, you could even have a members tier system where you kind of work your way through the animals as you get higher and higher up the ranks. That would be another thing to do. There are just so many different possibilities regarding this entire thing that I just refuse to believe that it is awful taste. And in saying that, even though we don't have mounds or pixels to kind of see what is going on here, you can definitely see that it has been well done. So if anyone knows where in the world this puppy is, just let me know, because I want to know what country, if nothing else, just has this kind of sense of humor. Because like I said, there is definitely no way that this was awful taste. It is definitely great execution, and also, if nothing else, you're definitely going to make your money's back as a business, considering you're just going to draw in so many people that want to kind of see this thing exactly like me. So no, this is definitely the first one, hopefully the last one for the month, where I just don't agree that it is awful taste. Pregnant Christian mermaids, too many questions. Yeah, I guess it does raise a couple of questions about where someone got the inspiration, or why this was even deemed to be a marker. I mean, it's definitely been well done, and so now I'm just wondering what they're made out of, because how does it cost? It costs like $4,000. I don't even know what kind of currency that would be, but it definitely says 3999 there, so I have no idea what they're made of, because I would have assumed that they're made out of plastic or ceramic or something like that. But if that price tag is in relation to the dollar, then you're certainly going to be hoping that they're made out of gold or something like that. And really, I've just been staring at it going, what feels wrong with this entire equation here? And it definitely kind of adds up to the fact that that baby is nowhere near 9 months old, and I certainly wouldn't think so, and she is so heavily pregnant that there is no way that that can kind of work in that regard. And so I definitely have to agree with the title. There are so many questions that should be asked about this entire thing. Just why, like I said, why did anyone have the inspiration to think that this was going to be a market? And just why out of all things did you choose mermaids? Because I feel as though there are so many options. I mean, I guess in a way it makes sense as to why they didn't choose humans, because there are probably a million things like that already out there, and so you definitely want to be making your own market with mermaids. But really, why mermaids? Like, I feel as though there were just so many other choices that would at least have made a little bit more sense, because I just don't see where the connection is here. And so I guess in the end, at least for me, the main question I want to answer is just how many of these have they sold? What is the real price tag in Australian dollars, so I can actually understand and get an idea of how much it costs. But I just want to know how many people walk into the Christmas store, because it is quite clearly a Christmas store, but how many people walk in there and go, yes, I have found the one, finally, the one that I've been looking for however long. I've looked absolutely everywhere for the pregnant mermaids with a newborn as well, and really I just couldn't find it anywhere, and finally I found it. Just give me your entire stock. Hey, if that person is you, then more power to you, because really I don't even know if this is kind of all for taste. It's definitely confusing taste, and exactly like the title says, I definitely have a few questions surrounding the entire thing, but I really don't feel as though it's all for taste. But it is definitely a great execution, because the detail in the entire thing is quite incredible. I mean, in saying that, if they are just plastic, then it definitely takes away a little bit of the elegance of the entire thing, but really someone had to design it at some stage, and it has been well designed. So look, I guess all I can say is I hope they didn't make too many of these, because I don't know how big the market really is going to be. And considering the fact that so many people agree that it is all for taste, I mean, I guess on the other hand, a lot of people agree that it is great execution, so you got something going for you. But really, I just don't know how big the market is going to be. But like I said, I just honestly can't picture anyone just walking into a store and going, yes, that is the one. All for taste, but great execution on this creepy animatronic eye cube. What are we going to have? Oh, wait, hang on a second. I can only imagine. Oh, no, don't squish it. Oh, what is going on here? Oh, wait, hang on a second. When I first saw this thing, I thought it was an animated thing, and I really didn't expect it to be as creepy as it is, but at least when it's animated, you can kind of just make that separation. But the fact that they said animatronics, that kind of puts me in a whole different category of disturbed, because there is no way that that ever needed to be created, and I can't believe someone actually made such a thing. I mean, it's saying that I can only hope that it isn't real and they have kind of just made a thing and then animated it after the fact, but really they're showing all this other stuff and technology that you need and how you can control it, but oh, surely it's just in the video. Did it definitely say yes? It definitely said animatronic IQ. Oh god, why does it have to be a real thing? This one is just, oh, it's just so off-putting. I'm not sure if it was on this sub last time I visited it or if it was on a different sub of what it was, but really I'm just getting quite the same vibes as the Furby burger. It's just creeping me out, because even though I feel as though the Furby burger was more graphic in terms of what it was, this is just creepy. The fact that it's animated, or I guess not animated, but animated, if you know what I mean. I mean, I guess I have to give credit where credit's due, because it's been very well done, and even though obviously I can't feel it, it just feels as though it's real. I mean, in saying that, now I'm just wondering about whose eyeball it really is, because surely you just don't want your eyeball being associated with anything like that. I mean, I guess if one person made it and it's their eyeball that they modeled it off, then more power to them and good on them for making such a random thing. But if it wasn't and they got some kind of eye model associated with the entire thing, no one would ever be able to look at your eye the same. So I certainly hope if that is the case, that that person got paid a whole bunch of money, because like I said, there is no way that they're going to be making any money off their eye ever again. To be honest, I'm kind of having the same thoughts as the last one. I mean, obviously the last one was mass produced, but really I just don't understand how anyone thinks that there was going to be a market for this. I mean, maybe they don't. Maybe they just did it for the video and just because they could. But really, come on, there were a lot of questions surrounding this entire thing, because surely it takes a special kind of person to kind of think this up. Oh, but there we go. Wait, hang on a second. I kind of need to pause it. Is that eye? That eye? Maybe, I don't know. It is a little bit difficult to tell, but I certainly feel as though there's a little bit of inspiration involved in that entire thing. So yeah, I guess what else can I say besides well done in terms of freaking us out to this person, because they have definitely nailed it in terms of Awfultastebut great execution. Jesus transforms. What are we gonna have here? What am I looking at? Hang on a second. Oh my goodness, don't tell me he's a transformer. What the hell is this gonna turn into? Oh my goodness, he's going full Mecha Jesus. Look at that from start to finish. That is a completely different thing. Look, from here to here. What is going on here, and who the hell dreamt that up? That is insane. I mean, I can certainly understand how someone might have thought it was a good idea, and it's definitely been well done, but I'm just baffled as to how anyone ever thinks up these things. I mean, hey, maybe someone was thinking that if he had this armor in the first place, then that wouldn't have happened to him, but I don't really know if that's how it works. But no, I really like the last couple that we've seen. I mean, I guess the last one I hope was a one-off, but really I just can't imagine placing an order for 1 million or even just 1,000 of these. I mean, maybe this was a one-off as well, but it kind of looks as though it was actually made by someone who actually kind of made these kind of toys. Just the way that everything kind of perfectly articulates and all that kind of thing. I feel as though, I mean, I guess obviously there are a whole bunch of talented people out there, and that's why it's Awfultastebut great execution, but I don't know, something about it just makes me feel as though it was actually made by a real company, and really that is the most ridiculous part about the entire thing, I reckon. And to be honest, the only thing that I'm seeing now is some kind of comic book variation, you know, just some alternate reality Jesus, because looking at how beefy that armor is, nothing is getting through that. And so hey, if you need saving, that is definitely the way to go about doing it in the medieval times, at least. So in saying that, now I'm just curious as to where this thing even originated from, and where do you even buy one? Because even though I did say it was a mass-produced thing, at the same time I feel as though if that was the case, I just would have seen one of these before, and I definitely have never seen anything like this before. And honestly, in saying that, in comparison to some of the other posts that we've seen so far, I just don't really know if this is awful taste. I mean, it's definitely some very weird taste, and it's definitely not traditional, but I don't know, maybe I'm just a little bit numb to the entire thing after looking at that eyeball the last time, but I just don't really feel as though this is the same level of awful taste as the last one that we just saw. And so now finally, for the top of the month for Awfultastebut great execution, we have kind of looks like a fidget spinner. Oh my goodness. Whoa, that is actually incredible engineering to be able to make something like that. I mean, I have absolutely no idea which tire is rolling which, and at the same time, which one is actually the drive wheel, but there is no doubt about it. The amount of time and energy and money to go into something like this is ridiculous. And I must admit, even though the title said kind of looks like a fidget spinner, I kind of like it in a very, very strange way. I would never own such a thing, but really to watch it in this regard, oh, it really is just incredible to watch. Because as well as the fact that when this person goes to get their wheels changed, they now have to buy 8 tires for originally a 4-wheeled car, I just feel as though the entire process of owning such a vehicle would be such a hassle, and just dealing with all the suspension and drive issues that you're now going to have. But oh my goodness, I have to commend them on kind of attempting it, if nothing else. And as I just saw, it was originally a Toyota. I really don't know if you would be able to still call it a Toyota, considering there was no way that Toyota were ever making anything like this. But I also just am curious as to how they chose to do it to this car in the first place. I mean, to be honest, I am seeing a little bit of annoyance right here. I just wish that they came together perfectly at the same time as they're rolling in opposite directions, but really, this is just an insane an insane build. So like I said, I have to give credit where credit's due, because someone has obviously just wanted to be a little bit different to the rest of us, and well, that's definitely one way to do it. Whether or not it's awful taste is kind of left up to the individual, because I don't know, I kind of feel as though this is an awful taste. I mean, hey, maybe that's just me loving how ludicrous it is, but it has definitely been well done, if nothing else. But anyway, in saying that, that is going to do it for the top of the month for Awful Taste but Great Execution. So thank you for watching. If you did enjoy the video, feel free to do the YouTube algorithmic things down below. Let me know if you had a favorite post out of any of these. Other than that, we check out awesome posts all over Reddit, so make sure you check some of the other videos out now. Or hey, maybe you even want to consider subscribing so don't miss another one of these in the future. But all in all, have a good one and see ya.